Hey there, Chad here for the AI Content Dojo. In this video, I want to explain persona stories, kind of how they'll help you write actually high quality content, and how you might use Jarvis to help you write that persona story. First, what is a persona story? It's basically your target reader with a whole story behind their life, like their struggles, their likes, dislikes, anything like that, products they like, services they use, things, just as much detail about that person as you can possibly create. Now, it's probably not a real person, it's a story, but it's that ideal reader that you have in mind. Although if you have a friend who happens to meet that, you could probably use some of their life in your persona story to make that connection maybe a little bit more to reality even. That would help quite a bit. But essentially, it's the thing that you keep in mind when you're creating your content. And in my opinion, the persona story is probably the most important thing that you would start with when writing. I know that we get kind of caught up in the whole keyword research thing, like what keyword out there has like good search volume but no competition. I want to take on that, and that's based off of data, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. It doesn't really work out, and there's so many different strategies there. But at the end of the day, you're creating content for somebody. Like that reader who is coming to read your content needs to get value from what you're writing, and so the more you can understand them, the better your writing will become. And so let's see how Jarvis can help with creating a persona story. Now over here I've got some notes. I'm just going to copy these just to help speed things up here a little bit. Now if you watched the live stream that we did yesterday, we did a teardown of an article that was about college freshmen and their first year in college and some tips for success. And one of the things that we talked about was the author had college students was basically the persona. There's not really much of a story there. You don't know much about college students as a whole, right? There's probably thousands upon thousands of different angles you could take when writing about college students. So anyways, I'm going to use that as kind of my case study here. And it's going to be about Sarah. Sarah's a college freshman. She's studying electrical engineering. She loves artificial intelligence. She's a bit of an introvert, likes technology, enjoys studying some different industries to kind of maybe make connections between them, and her favorite movie is The Matrix, of course. Now, this comes from just me. I just made it all up. I just figure maybe for my purposes of my blog, if my blog was about college, I'm thinking, okay, this is the type of person that my writing style might fit the best, the type of college student that I would want to target, perhaps. And now we need to get some extra stuff, right? This is not enough. This is a good start, but this is not even, more or less, this right here is more like notes, right? It's not like a fleshed out story about Sarah. And this is something where the persona story can evolve over time throughout your, blogging future. It's not something that you do once and is done. It's also something that you don't have to do for every article you write. This is more like the persona story is maybe something you do up front when you first start your blog, and it's intended to kind of really sort of focus you on that reader. And as you're going through writing more articles over time, you might visit this to first get that reader fresh in mind again, but also to add more to the story, add more depth to the story. Just go as much as you can add to it, the better. And that will give you more angles to write about in your blog too. Okay, so how might you do that? Well, obviously you might be able to just do it yourself. You could just start writing your own paragraphs, but what if you wanted a little bit of help from Jarvis? Let's go over here. I'm going to copy some things in here. Now, obviously this is AI. Can do something to embarrass me right here on the video. It always likes to sort of do that to you, doesn't it? It doesn't like cooperating all the time, but let's see what happens when we ask, what struggles might Sarah have during her freshman year in college? This is just me running a command. She's with a command enter. She will struggle with engineering courses because she has a natural interest in the opposite field of study. It's difficult for her to try and take engineering courses when it doesn't come naturally as math. Okay. She'll also struggle finding new friends because she's an introvert. Right? We said that. Could probably keep that. Let's do this again. So I just want to show you too, it's like it doesn't do it perfect every time, and it's going to come up with something different. Okay. She's going to have a lot of struggles. She might not make very many friends. Can't go out much because she has to study for engineering. She'll want to watch her favorite movie, The Matrix, but it's too hard to concentrate when she's studying for class, and she'll feel really sad. All right. Okay. All right. So we kind of got a bit more, right, to Sarah. We know that now, she's going to have a lot of struggles in college because, she's not going to have any friends. She's an introvert, and she's going to be really busy because the field of electrical engineering is going to keep her very busy. The classes are difficult, right? Let's start getting a little bit more personal about Sarah. Let's ask what her parents are like, and obviously this is a story. This is going to be something that's kind of made up. There we go. So Sarah's parents are very supportive. They give her a lot of freedom and support her in whatever she does. They're always telling her to keep going, even when things are whenever they seem out of reach. That's a little generic, but it's a good start. And you could use a little bit more, like spend some time thinking about Sarah a little bit, and then kind of maybe let's say Sarah's parents are supportive. They're always giving her or telling her to keep going. They even went above and beyond when. And let's see what Jarvis can give us. She needed a laptop. They took out a loan to get her a better computer so she could work on engineering products. Ooh, see? Okay, now that's good. That might indicate that the family doesn't have a ton of money. Watch The Matrix. We could take that out. They might not have a ton of money, but they opted to sacrifice and get a loan to get a better computer for Sarah. That might be something you could target in your blog at some point. Obviously money struggles are a thing for college students. Many struggles with school, but also has professors that are supportive of her. That's awesome too. She learns how to program, learns machine learning. Let's let Jarvis continue. Her dream career. Okay, now we're talking about her career. No, okay. She wants to be okay. That's pretty awesome. Let's just sort of. Now let's let Jarvis finish. We should change this to shorter because it's starting to write a lot. Change that to shorter so that we can kind of get on with things. It really wants to bring up the matrix a lot, doesn't it? Let me just go up here and take that out. We can add that again at some point in the future. Okay, so wow, we're really learning a lot about Sarah now. Let's go into let's just ask if she has any brothers and sisters. And again, this is all just kind of a made-up story, but at the end of the day, she does not. If you wanted her to have brothers and sisters, just keep running this. It'll eventually give you something. There you go. Uh-oh. Wow. So, okay, so she has an older brother who's a sophomore studying science and engineering as well. So that might mean that, having the pressure of an older sibling, in the similar field might be something you talk about in your blog. Also, maybe the stresses of a family who doesn't have enough, revenue to support her college while also caring for a 2-year-old. Just all kinds of ideas can kind of come out of these stories as we're coming up with them. All right, so let's find out if Sarah maybe had a summer job to pay for college. You can run this. No, but she does go to the library and researches. Okay. And if you wanted to change that story, you just rerun the command. Rerun didn't work this time. Oh well. We can redo this. Now this contradicts, right? Wow, this thing, even though it's on shorter, the thing put out a lot of content. Okay, that contradicts what we've already kind of seen so far, so I'm just going to go back to this. Does Sarah have a summer job to pay for college? when her parents can't help. Let's see if that sort of focuses it a little bit. Well, see, it kind of went into the first person for her. Oh, it's still running. Way to go, Jarvis. Yeah, that might be a little bit like a kind of a maybe at this point in the content we might not be able to get that. All right. Well, this is good enough, right? She doesn't have a summer job currently, but she wants to find one before the summer ends. Okay. Let's maybe see if we can kind of have a lead, right? Instead of running this as a command, we're going to run this as a compose, but we're kind of going to lead Jarvis. We're going to say, as a college freshman, Sarah wants, and let's just see what she wants from being a freshman. Oh, okay. And what engineers are like. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. You could probably think of a few topics to write about from just that. And if you're a company that's selling something, a product or a service, you can probably ask Jarvis things like that too. What types of products are? All right, she needs a summer job. We got that. Let's rerun that. Wow, high-end computers, compatible software, textbooks, notebooks, pens, paper. Okay, sure. And things basically to help her study, right? I think that's pretty awesome, and I think that's probably far enough for this video. We've got about 400 and something words into a persona story. It doesn't go all that deep, but I mean, compared to just sort of thinking about, oh, I'm writing for college students, this is significantly deeper than that. And I think you can kind of maybe understand why creating this persona is important. And remember that it's not specifically for one article. This is for your whole site or your whole blog as a whole, so that you can think of ideas of things that you need to write about, or when you're in the middle of writing, like before you begin, when you have your topic in mind, but you haven't started writing yet, go back and think about this persona story, like reread it sometimes, and then write your article, write your blog post. And when you get to that point where it's done, like right after it's done, it's often a good idea to come back to this persona story and add to it. Some things you might have thought of when you were in the middle of writing, just add to this story. And over time, the depth that you get from this will really help you write and continue your cohesion in your blog and everything. There's just a massive amount of benefit from doing this. And then if you want to do some SEO optimization after you've written your article, that's when you would do it. But you're always making sure that the content of your article, even if Jarvis has helped you write it, is exactly what the reader needs, and this story will help you reach that. So that's it for this video. I hope you found it helpful, and until next time, take care.